October 7th, 2019, committee meeting between the Jackson County Commission and legislative delegation at the Scottsboro High School. There are approximately 100 people here tonight.
Name, so I can call on these, but we've got several. But if you were wanting to ask a question, let's take care of that now. So everybody good? All right, good deal. We certainly are glad that you're here. We're glad that you've taken time out of your busy schedule. I know there's lots of people. I'm certainly not going to recognize everybody, but I do want to recognize James Hutchison, our county commissioner to the south of us from Marshall County. Mr. Hutchison, it's glad to have you here. We're certainly glad to have you here. We're also pleased and thrilled to have Barry Monza with us. Barry, thank you for your service to our county. Okay, we're going to start this off. First one I want to call on is Jeff Arnold, our Revenue Commissioner, to start us off with prayer.
Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you once again for all your blessings on us, Lord. We thank you for this wonderful county we live in. Lord, we thank you for these leaders that are gathered. Lord, we just pray that you just touch them, give them patience and understanding. Lord, we thank you for all that you do for us, and Lord, everything we do. Lord, we just pray that you help us to be mindful of it. Lord, our thoughts and our actions, and Lord, help us to remember those that are less fortunate than us, and Lord, help us as servants, Lord, remember those that we serve. Lord, watch over us through these proceedings and through this night. It's in Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Next, I would like to call on Mr. Jack Livingston, one of the oldest veterans in Jackson County. Thank you for your service, Mr. Livingston. So if y'all would please stand with him, and he's going to lead us in the pledge.
Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. I think probably everyone in this room knows our delegation and our commission, but just in case you don't, starting right here with to my left is Senator Steve Livingston, Representative Richie Wharton, Representative Tommy Haynes, Commissioner Mike Sisk, Chairman of the Commission, Tim Guffey, Commissioner Jason Venable, Commissioner Danny Rich, and Commissioner Melinda Gilbert. So we want to make sure that you, if you didn't knew the names, put a face with a name in case you don't see them very often. This town hall meeting is designed to give the citizens of Jackson County an opportunity to ask questions to the Jackson County Legislative Delegation and to the Jackson County Commission. Your question is limited to 2 minutes. Then also we'll try to limit it close to 2 minutes for the answer so that we'll get in as many questions as possible. Those of you that have wanted to ask a question have signed up. I'll be calling your name in a minute. Now this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. We expect everyone to be respectful to our elected officials and respectful to everyone in the room. When I call your name, please come to the microphone. We have got one microphone. I was talking to Mr. Paradise, and by the way, let's thank Rob Paradise, the principal of the high school, and Dr. Reyes for the use of the facility. Thank y'all very much. I was talking to him earlier, and he said this is the same system that was put in this school 20 years ago. Still works great, but it's not compatible with any cordless mics that I had in my office, so we're going to let you get a little exercise. So when I call your name, please walk down to the front. I will hand you the microphone. You can ask the question, and then we'll give it to the appropriate person to answer that question. So everybody good with that? All righty. Please, if someone asks a question and you've got the exact same question, if I call your name, tell us, just say it's already been answered. Everybody good with that? We're scheduled to be out of here no later than 8 o'clock, but I feel sure that we're going to be able to get everyone's questions answered. So if everybody good with that, we're ready to go. First person, Mr. Jim Jordan.
Yes, sir. And thank you guys for putting on this town hall, give us an opportunity to ask some questions. My question is basically, there's been a lot of discussion back and forth about raising sales tax in Jackson County. And I would like for this delegation to, and the commission to address the situation that drives that discussion, but also to address the considerations that have been given to the impact that raising the sales tax, and I think it's been talked to a cent, to 10 cents, would put Jackson County in a sort of unique situation, and that there's nobody in the area that has a sales tax of that magnitude. So what about the border effect of people not buying from Jackson County anymore because they can buy elsewhere for less sales tax? And any, I guess, regressive nature of a tax on the citizens of Jackson County. So if, and I don't know who would want to take that, but if you could talk to that, I'd appreciate it.
It has been brought up about a 1 cent sales tax, and the reason that we brought it up was because it was the only growth tax that we could get that made sense that would fix the county's problems. Right now, out of the 9 cents that's in Scottsburg, the county gets 0 of the sales tax. So we don't have any kind of growth mechanism when it comes to the tax dollar. We've seen a lot of which is great. We've seen growth in our county. We're seeing jobs come into our county. But we don't have the tax dollars it's going to take to keep that infrastructure going. I've had some people that asked me about raising property tax, but it just don't seem hardly right to, when the people paying property tax is already paying the brunt of the taxes already. Where with the 1 cent sales tax, you'd be getting people coming through Jackson County, not just the citizens of Jackson County.
I think Mr. Jordan asked for both of us to address that. It was in 2016 that the 1 cent sales tax was on the ballot, and it was defeated like 61 to 39, 60-40. The delegation has since then has not had much desire to put a sales tax on, but levy a sales tax. We've talked about doing some other things that would generate some income. The county was not at that point in time interested in pursuing back in the spring of the year. It would put Jackson County in an unequal position to other communities. Everybody around us in Madison, Marshall, and DeKalb County, with the exception of the city of Gadsden, at 9%. So I would fear a runoff from folks that have the opportunity to go to other positions. The mayor was supposed to be here tonight. They're having a council meeting, and at the same time, along with a budget meeting, he was going to express his concerns about that tonight, the concern about runoff to other communities, to Kimball, Fort Payne, Marshall County. Sorry, James. Marshall County and other places, just being 1 cent higher.
Okay, next we have Larry Anderson.
It was answered.
No good? Okay, good deal. Next we have Ernesto Gomez.
Thank you, sir. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you for listening to my question. I hold a position of captain at the Jackson County Jail. And I would like to pose a question to you. Is there anything in the foreseeable future that you can do for the Jackson County Sheriff's Office as a whole, but particularly for the Jackson County Jail? The staff there is, we actually need more people, but we've been there for 7 years now, I believe, without a raise. So if anything you can comment on that, I would be very pleased to hear. Thank you.
This year, our budget deficit is going to be about $385,000 in our general fund, and about $50,000 budget deficit in our road department. So there's not a real good chance to give it a raise this year, and I hate that because our employees do deserve it. that's one problem we're having, is retaining employees, because a lot of our employees can go to the city, go to other counties for the same job and make more money. So that was another reason for us inquiring about the sales taxes. We're gonna have to do something. We can't just keep letting Jackson County fall further and further behind while other counties and municipalities proceed further. I'd love to see everybody, I think all our employees deserve a raise. You're correct, we've given one raise in 7 years. It's not been because we didn't want to, it's been because that was the cards we've been dealt, and we can't create funding. So if we was able to create funding, we could fix our problem, but not being able to have that ability leaves us where we're at.
Next, we have Kim Chapman.
I was just wondering, the internet tax that we get, how much do we receive each year off of the internet? And then how much, does any of it go to the school?
I think it was 4 years ago was when we got the first portions of internet sales tax, and the first year was about $40,000 is what we budgeted, and it wound up being closer to 80,000. I think this year we have budgeted 340. I can't remember exactly, but it's over $300,000. Bob Manning's here; he probably can remember the exact number we budgeted this year.
You're correct, you're close.
Close. But that does come 100% to the county commission's general fund, and I think there's been some talk about maybe doing some sharing through Montgomery with the school systems.
Well, the internet sales tax, internet sales use tax, SSUT, has this year provided the county with some $445,000 already, and I doubt that you've got your September payment yet on that. So that is up over 100% from last year. Scottsboro, in the same rate, is up like 170% from last year. The catching thing about this now is that if you order your groceries online at Walmart or Foodland or one of these stores like that, that is considered an internet sales transaction now. That goes to the state that way, is the way that's handled. The growth that is being seen in that is kind of scary, because what we anticipate happening long term is that our school systems who are funded off the sales tax will see less revenue. There's already a move afoot in Montgomery to buy the AEA to start getting some of this, but it has provided substantial growth for the county this last year, for sure.
By the way, anyone that has come in after we started, if you would like to ask a question, what I will do is I will put a sheet down here if you would come down here and put your name on it for anyone that didn't have the opportunity to sign up before we started. Okay, next, Ellen O'Connor.
I'm not able to come to the meetings very much anymore, but I watch Gary Morgan's videos, and I've noticed that usually there's 2 attorneys sitting at the committee meetings, and I was wondering what the legal fees for their services are.
The legal fees change every month, so it'd be hard for me to give you an exact number, but I'd be glad, if you want to come out of the office, I'd be glad to give you the last 12 months, the last 2 years, last 3 years, whatever you'd like to have. But I can't, like I said, I can't remember. It varies different months because different departments use them. The sheriff's department may need them sometimes. Mr. Arnold may use them. So different departments throughout the courthouse use them. So it ain't just out of the county budget that his fees come from. If you come by the office, I'd be glad to give you copies of those.
Bob, do you know that number?
It varies substantially based on the amount of workload they have. But we only have one county attorney. We need to clarify that. Mr. Porter.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know who else is being seen, but Mr. Porter is our only county attorney. And his fees are based on the amount of hours he gives service to our different departments throughout the county.
And would you please tell me who the other young lady is that sits with Mr. Porter most of the time, Bob?
It's probably be his daughter, I'm assuming who you're talking about. His daughter. She is a partner in the firm.
Okay, next, R.D. Allison.
Good evening. I'm here on County Road 93 in Bryan, Alabama. It's been too long since February when it washed out. And we need something done on it. I want all of y'all. I've been told that you legislators have these county commissioners' hands tied. I want to know what knot you got them tied with and how can I get it undone? I'm serious. I do want to know what y'all can do to get some money to get this road fixed. Y'all have slow walkers this whole valley, down Hogjaw Valley and Long Island, Alabama. It's our emergency services comes from the mountain. We got an ambulance service out there. We got a fire hall out there, right at the end of 93. And I don't know why y'all can't. Y'all was elected to do that job. And now that job can be done. There's too many financial companies in this area that would loan you the money if you don't have it. And FEMA's gonna pay 80% of it. So please, help us get our community back to functioning without going to Stevenson or through South Pittsburgh, somewhere else. Now, I'm asking you, I've asked this group several times. I've been before them 3 or 4 times, I think. And I'm begging you to get, because my wife's an invalid. I hadn't had to use it since November last year, but I did use the ambulance service in, and they was prompt. The road was open then though, but now they gotta go several miles out of the way. I would like to have my commissioners do their job, do it without hurting anybody. But you can borrow money enough to fix that road, I'm sure of that. Thank you, sir.
What gentleman's referring to with 93, I don't know if everybody knows where that's at, but we had 4 roads that washed out in February. And it is our desire to fix those roads, I promise you. We want to fix every one of them. You mentioned FEMA getting our money back. Take sometimes 2 to 3 years to get those dollars back. So if we borrowed $6.1 million was the estimated price tag on all that damage. So if we borrowed $6.1 million, we would pay back about $500,000 a year to service that debt. We don't have the finances to service that debt. We already had 1,100 miles of road, 186 bridges that are in bad need of repair. You know, I'm doing my job, I feel like. I'm elected to administrate and be a good steward over your tax dollars. And I do not think that paying up to $1 million, $1.5 million of interest until we receive our reimbursement back is good. Another thing is we only have so much borrowing power. You mentioned you have some alternate routes. We have a lot of roads that service communities that don't have alternate routes. If we borrowed money and then you had a road washed out such as that doesn't have an alternate route, then we've spent our capital, we've exhausted our borrowing power, and then we have no way of fixing those roads. So you may have some communities that can't reach their property, their home, their houses, their property, their vehicles, and everything could be on the other side of a bridge that we can't replace. So I feel like we're doing our job. I hate that the situation is what it is, and we're doing all we can do to get ahead of that.
I want to commend the commissioners. They have done their very best to keep a balanced budget, and I take my hat off to them for it. The delegation now, we have sent letters. We've contacted Governor Ivey's office to try to get her to take money out of her emergency fund to fix these places, and we have made it very clear to her and her office that this is a public safety issue. There's already been 2 homes that's burned to the ground, broad open daylight down in Long Island. And the governor's office knows that. But we met with the county commission 6 times already since the election in November. And as of April, we made it very clear that they wouldn't have the money in their coffers if they had a 1-cent sales tax today. And they acknowledged that. And back in April, they said, we know that we're gonna have to borrow that money at some point in time. So, and I understand their plight. But if you know you gotta borrow the money, get after it. I mean, that's the way I look at it. It's a public safety issue. I mean, the next time it might be a heart attack in Long Island. And from what I can gather, like Highway 17 in Larkinville, it's the same situation. That's what I've been told. But this is a public safety issue. Put your people first.
Right.
And I feel like that's what needs to be done.
Okay, next, Linda Sanders.
Some exercise.
Okay, I don't claim to understand all about budgets and stuff, but what I understand is that the education budget has surplus due to Google and all coming in here, and then the county is operating with a deficit. Is there not some way that could be balanced out better this year? I mean, if they have surplus and we are in such dire need with so many things that need to be done, I'd like to have an answer if that could possibly happen. And then part of that, if that's true and we're in such bad shape, did the county commission vote themselves a raise last year?
The first one, I don't have anything to do with as far as the education. That is, county commission don't have anything to do with that. We don't have any ability to raise taxes for ourselves. As far as a raise, we've only given 1 raise in 7 years, and that's the only raise that's been given. I think we give the employees a Christmas bonus about 3 or 4 years ago, one-time pay raise about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was just a one-time small amount. I hope that answered your question.
Linda, some time ago, there were 2 different sets of county commissions in the past levied a 1-cent sales tax, and they specified that sales tax to go to education. The county commission does not have home rule, therefore they have to come to their legislature to raise taxes in that regard. And y'all did vote a 3% raise back in September of 18. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, well, there's 1 raise in 7 years.
Okay, Darrell, I cannot read the last name, Everett, or, sorry about that.
My question made to the delegation, I was wondering if Google had a tax exemption, or if they, for how long after time went up with the revenue coming into the county, would they basically late in the future coming into the county? If there is an exemption, I'd like to know who give them the exemption, state and county tax exemption. And is there any other businesses that are tax exempt that might in the future be able to leave?
Darrell, I'm not sure exactly what the exemption was. I'm sure that probably did get some sort of exemption from the county on certain taxes. Education taxes is one that's not exempted. I'm not aware of an exemption from the state. Sheila? Oh, you're here. Can you answer that question a little bit better by chance?
They did receive some tax exemptions from the city, county, and state. We've been from Bridgeport, the county, and state. It was for certain things, certain items, but they will always pay the school tax. And I don't know exactly the time frame on one's out or what, but yes, they did. Just, and most industries that come in and create good paying jobs will get some of those things.
But you're not sure the retirement of those abatements? Did you hear city, county, and some state abatements? Yes.
My understanding is once they are up and running and the tax goes in, it all goes to the school.
The school tax has not been abated at all, no, not at all. So once they're up and running significantly, there'll be some additional income that does come in, yes. Likely, a good portion of it will go to school, the way the laws are written. A good portion of it will go to schools.
How long is that tax exemption?
Normally 10 years, is that right, Sheila?
Yes, but data centers do have some various options with the state.
30 years. 30 years.
Okay, Vicki Westmoreland.
This question is for Mr. Guthrie. I was at the meeting in Bryant about the roads, and you kept telling us to ask or to call our legislators. What exactly are you asking us to call them for?
The reason, and I've said that, is because we cannot create funds. The funding we have is all we have. We cannot create funds in our office. Just like Mr. Livingston, Senator Livingston said, we don't have home rule, we don't have any of that ability, so anything, any tax increase, any redistribution, anything has to go through the legislators, not through the county commission. And that's the reason I said it, if we want to pave more roads, want to do more things, then it's going to have to be, it has to go through them and not through us.
Well, I heard that you were wanting to increase our taxes, our tag taxes, fees on the cars. From $1.25 that you are now getting to $10, which makes our car tags go up to $33 instead of the $24.25. And for us that are in agriculture, we have several vehicles we hardly ever use, but we still have to buy tags for everything. And insurance. I know you don't have anything to do with the insurance, but the tag, I mean, it's all a big expense on us as farmers.
It is. And we brought up several different options. We didn't say we want to raise taxes on everything out there. We were just giving different options to consider. On the same hand, as you you talk about the $10, the rate, where the $10 come from is, that's what the cap is. And we've had a lot of people, like my office gets flooded with calls constantly where people has hit a pothole and bent their rim, and it costs them $800 to replace the rim and $100 for a front end alignment. And people are upset, they're like, you know, they're telling me they'd rather have a 1 cent sales tax than they had paying this repairs on their vehicles. So that's where we as citizens are going to have to decide whether or not do we want an increase in the sales tax, or however we decide to do it, or leave it like it is and let the regression keep going.
But you still voted yourself a raise. And you know, the gentleman was talking about, they haven't had a raise in 7 years, but y'all have a raise
No,
within
ma'am,
7
no,
years.
that never happened. So whoever does that is mistaken.
You didn't vote yourself for a raise?
No, ma'am. What we did was voted the county, one time in 7 years, got a 3% raise. And then when it does, because of that bill, we are included in it. All elected officials, not just county commission, that's all elected officials.
Well, you're talking about Marshall County or DeKalb County. How much are they making versus how much y'all are
I
making?
have no idea. I couldn't tell you about any other commission.
DeKalb County, I mean, I've done a little research on DeKalb County, and all the elected officials in DeKalb County makes way less money than the elected officials in Jackson County. And they service about 21,000 more residents than what Jackson County has. I mean, if that answers your question. I mean, that's the difference as far as salaries goes to elected officials. And I think they did, if I'm not mistaken, they did raise their car tag fees to like $10, and I think they raised their driver's license fee from $1 to $4, is that correct? Something like that. But although they did that, they're still operating in the black, and I think that the $10 on the car tags compensates for the salaries.
First of all, I want to say thank you for each and every one of you here tonight. Got a lot of good questions. Appreciate it all, just coming to the table here. On the fact that you said right there, I'm a farmer myself, and I don't even have to think how many vehicles I have got that have to pay the license fee and things on the insurance. This pay increase, I received it. I was totally against it. I don't think any elected official, they know what it is when they come into office. I knew what my pay scale was, and others know what their pay scale is. You know, according to our attorney, and I understand, I'll have to go on to what he tells us. He said if we done a 3% increase, it had to be, as the chairman just said, for everyone. But I totally disagree with that, because that is not what I'm entitled to. I knew exactly what I was when I took the office, and I just want to address that.
I'd just like to make some comments on that too. In years past, county commissions would give pay raises, not give it to the sheriff, or revenue commissioner, or probate judge, or whoever they deemed necessary. There was a state law passed, the Omnibus Pay Act, and it spelled out how much each county commissioner in each prospective county, the probate judge, the sheriff, every elected official, it tells you by population, and it gives you a formula on how to set their pay. And that's how. The county commission doesn't have anything to do with elected officials' pay. That's done through Montgomery. That's a state.
DeKalb County too, a side note on them is they're operating on about a $4.5 million less budget than we are. And they're somehow getting by. They have more miles of roads to fix, and their budget's way less than what Jackson County's is. But I want to talk just a little bit. I want to go back about the raises. I'm all for raises. I mean, I come out of public works myself. I'm a retired Chattanooga firefighter. I mean, I've been in the same shoes as the county employees has been in. I went 7 years without a raise. I saw my insurance go up every year. So 7 years later, I was making way less than what I was in the previous 7 years. And it's hard to swallow. But I cannot see doing anything, making any appropriation when you know that your revenues come January 1st is going to drop. I mean, and you just have to live with it until things get better. I mean, that's the way I operate my household. Been doing it ever since I've been married, 41 years. If there's something out there that I want and I can't afford it, I just do it out until I can get it. But that's what I want to say about the DeKalb County and the
I met with Ricky Harper with DeKalb County, so I don't know where you got your numbers, but he told me that his budget was substantially higher than ours, and he said he didn't understand how we was getting by on the amount of dollars that we had. So that was my conversation with the chairman of DeKalb.